No time for anything. It is showtime. All righty. It is our Wine Wednesdays and whatever. And so, Kristen, we gave Ben the night off. If I'm correct, Ben is sitting in his pool. I'm sure he's logged in watching us, but he's in his pool drinking his rosé right now. It's like 100 degrees out here in Sonoma. But anyways, I am joined today by Susan from Riedel. She is our Riedel ambassador. And we were lucky enough to do a Riedel seminar in early March before all the craziness hit. It was incredible with all the different kinds of wine glasses and the wines. We're going to be doing another one virtually though this time on July 16th. So you may have gotten an email yesterday or it is on our website. But in essence, you'll get a whole kit of 4 glasses of amazing Riedel Stemware, 2 bottles of our wine, and then you'll join us on Thursday, July 16th, and we will do our thing. So Susan, welcome.
Thank you. It's so nice to be here with you. So close and yet so far away, huh?
Yes. Susan's on the other side of the mountain over in St. Helena. Helena, right? Not Helena?
Helena.
Oh, Helena. Wow, I was wrong regardless. Anyways, well, welcome. And I'm sure it's hotter where you are.
It's toasty, but thankfully I have a house that I just moved into on Memorial Day weekend that stays, thankfully, a little bit cool.
Nice. I have a little fan going because it's a little hot here. But most important thing to do today, let's have a glass of wine. So I think we have set up to do our 2018 Peters Vineyard Chardonnay and our 2017 Leras family is what we kind of decided to open. So I am going to grab my Chardonnay glass and pour some Chardonnay. Cheers. And, tell me why this is a Chardonnay glass.
Well, I didn't decide it, and neither did George or Maximilian Riedel. It was actually designed by winemakers. I should start at the beginning. Klaus Riedel, actually the 9th generation of, this is funny, of Riedel Crystal, was drinking his Pinot one day and decided, what if he changed the shape? Would it make a difference? He developed this glass called our Sommelier series, and it came out with a full line in 1973. His son George decided that he wanted winemakers to help him, and so we put together, I have a sea of glassware here, let's say 13 glasses, and we have the winemakers vote which shapes they like, and for Oak Chardonnay, this is what we came up with. Not to be confused with this one for Unoak Chardonnay.
And that's also a Chardonnay glass?
This is, yes, for Chardonnay, Viognier is more of the floral white wine.
Okay.
So I can pour some. Oops, that's Pinot.
I was gonna say that's Pinot.
I'm
and you
sorry.
know, I knew that because our Chardonnay is a green foil.
Yes, I know. Here I am.
Oh,
at the camera.
Ben is watching, and he said, "Don't screw it up." Thanks, Ben.
I know, huh?
There you go. Confidence.
I'm going to dump that over here in my little dump bowl, and there you go. Here we go again. Green. Okay. All right, so there we have both of those. All right. So the Unoak Chardonnay glass, see how it's more upright? Mm-hmm. The Oak Chardonnay glass is a much bigger bowl, and the opening on it is much wider. See how that goes? Yeah. So what you're trying to do with an Oak Chardonnay glass is capture that richness. It has typically richer mouthfeel to it because it's been aged in oak, and it has a weight to it, and you're trying to capture those aromas to make sure that you can enjoy that, because you can enjoy 1,000 different aromas, but on your palate you have sweet, sour, salt, bitter, and umami, right? Well, the thing is with wine is that you smell through the front of your nose and through the back of your nose when you swallow. Okay. So that's what we're trying to manage here with this. And in an Unoak Chardonnay glass here, we don't typically have a whole lot of oak on them. Oh shoot, I had to open up my Outlook because man, could you come over and turn off my Outlook for me? And so we don't have that, and that's what makes the difference here. I think I might have to get up. It hasn't been that busy.
So if you're listening to us, every time she gets an email, you can drink.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I can't do that, or I'd be drunk all day long. My sister is on. Thanks, Jen, for joining us. Kimberly's back on too from Ohio. I just want to say hi to you guys. Wendy Nunez is here as well. So thank you guys for joining us. Sorry, I called my sister earlier, made her join in.
Oh, there you go. So I have that I'm drinking out of right now is the Veritas glass. These are both Veritas. The original Winemaker design glasses were our Venom series. The Veritas glass is 25% lighter. So it's got a thinner rim, thinner stems, more elegance. Maximilian Riedel really wants people to be able to show beautiful settings when they invite people over. So we have those. But what we used was the performance glass.
Look how cool that is.
Yeah, I know, isn't it? And so I'll try to hold it up. So you can see the optic, we call it the optic impact there. Where's the best way to show that? But it actually has ridges in here. And you're going to ask me, well, Susan, what do ridges do?
Are you asking me? Because I know this answer. I'm sorry. Susan, what do ridges do?
So the ridges, think of it if you took a piece of paper and you crumpled it up, right? And then you expand it out. It's smaller, when it's all crumpled up. But when you put it in here, it gives us more surface area. So it's just because you have that indent all the way around the glass, it gives you extra surface area, which helps you to open up these wines when we put them in the glass. And what winemakers are telling us is that they're really getting amazing nuances from these wines that perhaps they hadn't tried before. So it's one way to take your wine and sort of elevate it to the next level. That's what we're trying to do.
I have a question on that. So my other sister sent me these beautiful glasses from Poland. They weigh, I think, 10 pounds each. It's an extremely thick rim, but if I remember from your seminar, it probably is made with lead, which...
It depends how old the glass is. The European community was actually much more progressive, I think, than the U.S. about lead. So there's actually a crystal council of Europe, and they recommended that all of these producers take the lead out years ago. So for the most part, there's no lead, but of course, with the legal stuff, you always still have to say this Prop 65 because there could be one tiny little thing over it. Because
it's actually horrible in this glass.
Is it? Well,
I just sent you an email. I don't like them.
The thick rim, of course, splashes it all over your palate. Where this oak Chardonnay glass is going to put it more behind the tip and to the sides. That one, I imagine, kind of splashes it all over.
You went under my tongue.
Did you have to lift the tip of your tongue up when you drank?
Let me see. Oh yeah, no, I don't. Maybe it goes to the top and then goes down to the side. It doesn't hit anywhere on my sides.
Oh, interesting.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna put this one over here.
So when I do my seminars, I always say, so when you go to your grandmother's house or aunt whoever's house and you have those glasses, they're a challenge on a couple of levels, and one of them is swirling your wine, right? Because we like to swirl wine because, it helps lift the bouquet and we look cool doing it, all sorts of good reasons, right? And so I tell people in my seminars, always start when you're a beginning swirler, start on the table and just kind of swirl and then lift off. Well, it works for those glasses too if you happen to be at an event where you can't get away because it is Aunt whoever, and you don't want to offend her. Try that same technique, because if you try and take them off, try and swirl with that glass, and you'll notice how, my technical term, wonky they are.
But I am a professional.
Okay. Did you do okay with swirling that one?
I'm great at swirling.
No,
I'm gonna go the other way. With the other glass, no, I don't trust it. It would go.
And see, that's why I say then swirl on the table.
But I also pour a little bit. I don't pour a lot of wine into my glass. So, because I do like to swirl, and I do like to swirl, and I don't want it going everywhere.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing, is that you want to, with a Riedel glass, pour 4 to 6 ounces in here, because what you're doing then is you're getting enough head space to lift those aromas up. If you pour it to here, the top, the problem is you're just not going to get a spot for those aromas to come. I mean, that makes it sort of more of a drinking vessel, and we're really trying to sort of elevate the wine.
So I should be pouring actually a little more in my glasses.
Well, I mean, it's always nice. It's hot, so it's hot where you are, right? Well, the coolest spot for that right now is in the bottle, because the bottle's still cold, and you have a glass here. So that's what we tell people with our O series glasses, or like this. This is our swirl glass. I love this little guy.
Oh my, look at that.
He has little indents in the side.
Yeah.
We have, this is the white wine size, which just means it's smaller. And then we have a red one. That if it's really hot out, just pour a little bit and refill it. And the bottle's probably not going anywhere unless you arm wrestling one of your relatives for it. But that's what to do. And on mine, you might see that my bottle's sweating a little bit. The Riedels have a saying sort of that they drink their wines cool or cold and their water room temperature. The wine will always warm up in your glass, but once it gets warm, you got to put an ice cube in there, and then the swirl's not as good. I know that also with Chardonnay, Americans tend to serve our Chardonnays and most of our whites too cold. So it is nice to pour them in your glass, swirl a little, and also let it open up and warm up to pull out more of those flavors. You don't want mulled wine, you don't want hot wine, but it is nice. A lot of times I'll go out to dinner. If I do get a bottle of white wine, I'll just tell them to leave it on the table because it does stay cold enough in the bottle. And more flavors, if it's good quality white wine, you want those flavors to come out. If you're drinking really cheap white wine, keep it super, super cold and add ice cubes. That's the truth. I started working at a very expensive Chardonnay house when I came out of college. And I didn't really understand. I thought you served everything out of the refrigerator, right? Because that's where you do the Chardonnay.
Because that's the kind of Chardonnay we drank when we were younger.
Right. And so it wasn't until I worked there that you start with it cold, perhaps, and then you watch that as it evolved, and the winemaker was showing you how those different layers come through. You're like, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
That was fun to learn. But then Maximilian Riedel had the folks from Frescobaldi on today, and even they were saying, hey, to serve your reds at a cooler temperature to sort of, especially like during the hot months, because it helps keep that fruit in there and that balance. And if it gets too, if I'm at a restaurant and it's actually too cold, I'm just like, it's fine, we'll just wait.
Yeah, and swirling also, well, you'll see people do this a lot of times too, because they're trying to warm it up a little bit.
Yes.
Oh, good, Ron. I was wondering where you are. Ron just joined us. And Jean is drinking our 15 Charles and the 777 in Riedel, of course, which is awesome. Everyone's timing in. They're drinking from the Riedels. I love it.
I love it. Well, and I was at the winery this weekend drinking wines out of Riedels. It was very fun. Thank you for hosting us. We had a great
We're at the winery. The winery is open on our patio for reservation only tasting. So yeah, your husband, yourself, and some friends drove up in some nice classic cars.
Yes, we did. Yes, Andy has his high school Mustang. I think it's no, that's terrible. I think it's a 63 Mustang.
Was he in high school for a lot of years?
No.
Oh, well, never mind. I was trying to help.
Yeah, no, it's just trying to remember the year. He bought it and drove it for a couple of years and then parked it at his family's business. And finally, a couple of years ago, he said, I think it's time to restore the car. So it's been a lot of fun to drive around.
That is fun. No, you guys look super cool coming up. Let's go to Pinot. Because that's what we are about. Pinot. Pinot is our thing. Oh, okay. Dan in the back office wants to know if there are any memorable Chardonnay stories. So for those of you out there, Dan does a great job. He scripts all this. He works really hard, tirelessly in the background because he's literally right there, doing all these, kind of setting this up with me. So he was emailing me yesterday or the day before, telling me I need to come up with a memorable Chardonnay story. I don't have a memorable Chardonnay story. Tayson is my son. Tayson, you need to walk away while I tell this story, please. So he created a story for me. I grew up in Florida. he wanted me to say that when I was younger, I was sitting on the beach drinking cheap Chardonnay out of a plastic glass when an extinguished older gentleman came up to me with a great glass and great Chardonnay and introduced me to how amazing glassware brings out the best in wine. Personally, I think it sounds a little predatory and freaky, but it is Florida. Sorry for all your Floridians out there, but I'm from Florida, so I can say it. Not a true story. I don't have a good Chardonnay story. Do you have a good Chardonnay story?
It's crazy that you would say that happened in Florida because the Riedels used to vacation in Miami all the time.
Oh my God, it could have been him.
It could have been.
You know what? He is now the older gentleman in my Riedel story.
Yes.
Because I like older men and I usually like older wine. And so this is where this comes up.
Yes. Oh, wow. What if I give you a Chardonnay story? This is our horn decanter.
Oh.
And we recommend decanting white wines as well. And when you
really
Chardonnay, well, sometimes they just need to open up a little bit, especially
is that yellow and black on top of that?
Can you see it okay?
That is gorgeous. Yes.
And so, and then actually, if you go to the Riedel website, you can actually see 3 Bavarian men in Lederhosen play this lovely decanter.
That is absolutely stunning.
Isn't that fun? And so then you pour it like this. And it makes a very nice presentation on your table. Kind of fun.
You need one of those. That is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites, actually. I have, some decanters here, not a whole lot, but the horn one is one of my favorites.
And so that's a white wine decanter?
No, all of our decanters are made for reds or whites, or the first wines that they actually decanted were champagne.
Oh, okay. Oh. And is there a reason why you do decant versus don't decant? I've never known to decant white wine, so this is fascinating to me.
It's so funny. When I was doing Riedel and we were sponsoring this Bordeaux group that came into San Francisco, they all got a decanter. And in front of them, they had their Sauvignon Blancs, because that's what you're going to pour for your white, and then your Cabs. And every single producer put their white wine into the decanter. And I finally went up to one of the Frenchmen and I said, I don't really understand what's going on here. And they said, oh, Susan, the Sauvignon Blancs are really tight because they're very young. So we want to open them up and do that. And I said, oh, okay. I mean, the reason why they decanted champagne first was because way back in the day, you still had some of the yeast that would be in there. And so you were trying to get it off of that. I have to say I've never decanted champagne, but there you go. There's another story for you.
That's what Yolanda just said. I didn't know anyone decants champagne. Well, now, Yolanda, that's fast. I love these things. I learn something new every time.
Yep.
Fascinating.
On the Pinot.
Oh, onto Pinot, but hold on. I want to pull up James's comment. First time I had a Latour was in a solo cup. Much different experience my second time in a proper glass. I am going to guess your second time was better than your first. With the Latour wine. Thanks. Sorry. Or multiple things. Okay, on to Pinot.
On to Pinot. So we have a couple of different shapes of Pinot. I'm going to move this chart. I'm going to work on my backwards thing. So I have a couple of different, so we have the original. We have our, wait, that's wrong glass. Pulled the wrong one. We have a couple of different styles here. And then we have this little doozy, the newest, latest, greatest, something called Wine Wings. So we started with the Song series. Then we moved to Venom, and we have what we call, this is the old world Pinot Noir style, which is crazy because it doesn't match this at all.
No.
This is our new world style. This is in the Veritas line. And then we have the performance one. And that again has that optic impact, and it's modeled more off the new world Pinot Noir glass.
And the performance is the both performances you've seen with those ridges and whatnot are the glasses that are in the kit for our upcoming Riedel seminar.
Yes.
Well.
Those are the wonderful glasses that we're going to use. Yes, this optic impact to help with those aromatics, and so we get more to enjoy the sort of second and third level aromas that are in the wines. It does have, this acidity lip here too to help manage the acidity, but still keep the fruit nice and fresh. I did a workshop with George Riedel, and we basically took these 2 glasses, and we had a couple other Pinot glasses, trying to decide, do we like New World, Old World, Extreme, whatever. And we kind of thought for California, because it was for Carneros Pinots and for Central Coast, that they all work, because our Pinots here aren't as sort of confined as, let's say, Burgundy is, or
right.
as they are in Oregon, which has, this glass was originally designed for Oregon Pinot Noirs. So we drink them on both.
We use, I'm going to steal Dan's glass. We use, I'm going to assume this is the Old World. We use the Old World style at the winery.
Yes, we do.
We do. And it also works for our Chardonnay too. And actually our Zin, because it's made in a Pinot style. But yeah, we use the Old World style. We also, because one thing that is actually amazing about Riedel that I love is how thin everything is. And it's amazing. These are a little thicker at the winery because I think they're restaurant series.
Correct.
They don't break as easily. But yeah, we do I'm sure Dan loves the fact that I'm doing this to his wine glass. But yeah, we use the Old World. I pulled this one out for today's tasting, but normally at home I'm drinking out of these. I used to drink out of these when I first started it at Papapietro Perry, and Pinot just wasn't as delicious.
Well, and that's the thing.
Huge.
Seminars is that a lot of people are like, I don't really like Pinot Noir. I'm like, how can you not like Pinot Noir? I mean, it's wonderful about the fruit, the balance. It just goes with everything. Well, the problem is that people are drinking them in cab glasses. And
that's what I did.
Seminar, it's amazing when you try the Pinot in a cab glass, what the difference is. I mean, it is pretty much not worth drinking.
It's kind of flat, and you don't get those beautiful, delicate, even aromas, palate, anything. And that is my problem. I drank out of, this is a Napa Valley tasting room glass. I won't say the winery, but it's a Napa Valley. That's why I'm doing this so you can't read it. Regular Napa Valley tasting room glass. These are the glasses I had in my house. And when I came over to this side of the mountain, I was like, oh, our wine's so much better at the winery. But now it's just as good at my house.
That's what I want here. And then tell Dan, there's always a Riedel polishing cloth so he can buff out his glass if it gets in.
Oh, I need one of those too. It looks like I need that and a decanter. That's hilarious.
I keep 2 of these around when I'm buffing. I had to buff out about 60 glasses earlier today. So.
Oh, I have a scar in my hand from buffing glasses. Yeah, I'm not a big fan. So do you have a favorite Pinot glass?
It's usually the one in front of me. But I think
I knew I loved you for a reason.
Yeah. I'm drawn, it's so funny. The wine wings has just come out, so I'm starting to play with that. But this is probably the shape that I have most of at the house. My husband, Andy, he sells barrels to a lot of Pinot producers, so we drink a lot of Pinot at the house. And I don't know, I just like the look of this one and how it presents the wine. It's kind of
looks like I got 2 questions. Frankie is asking, the New World glasses seem to be more angular, starting at the stem to the wide part of the bowl. Why? He prefers the Old World glasses.
Well, the extreme glasses were originally designed to accommodate New World wines as well. So the extreme series, trying to have that extreme angle gives you a little bit more surface areas what the Riedels were thinking. And what we can do is that we can modulate certain parts of these glasses so it still keeps the same math geometry of what the winemakers picked. But if you modulate certain parts, it throws everything off. So the Riedels are very specific on how they do that. But with the extreme, and extreme just means like extreme angles, they're able to give it a little bit more surface area. And that's, I think, particularly with the cab, I notice it a lot.
So have you ever thought you would never use geometry? Now, there you go. So Yolanda's also asking, can you talk about the newest glass there on the table? That's my assumption, the one over, yeah, that one.
Wine wings. So we actually, this is an interesting glass. We actually had a winemaker who was saying that he wanted a wine glass that had a flat bottom and then kind of came up like this. And I was there with George when they had this conversation, and George came up with this glass, but in order to keep that geometry that we were talking about, the glass actually has a little bit of a bump on the side.
Yeah, it kind of matches your little one in front of it.
Yes. There you go. There you go. So the wineries, we just were launching them earlier this year, and then of course, everything went kind of sideways.
Yeah.
And so we're slowly doing presentations with these.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's the latest and greatest. George Riedel seems to think that it perhaps might be his last glassy designs, but I don't think so.
Oh, probably not.
Creative fellow.
So a couple questions for you. Number one, have you ever brought your own stemware to a restaurant and or a friend's house?
Oh, I have brought them to restaurants, yes.
To drink on your own, not to like showcase and sell.
Oh, no. I have a story that I tell during our seminars. And so if you sign up for the seminar that's coming up, you might hear the story again. That when my husband and I were at a restaurant in Calistoga, we walked in and he sees, what's going on. And I look at all the glasses on the tables and they hand him a list and he decides to order a Pinot. And I said, honey, all the glasses on the tables are basically cab glasses. So you have two options. Either you order a cab or you can order that Pinot and I go out to the car because I'm always packing. Glassware.
Love it. Yeah.
That's my Pinot story is that, yes.
That's how we pack in wine country.
Yeah, well, I have at Riedel, there's just the two of them. I come in with just two glasses and, here I go. Sometimes they match, sometimes they don't. There's another restaurant in Rutherford that I have been known to walk in with 8 glasses because we had a party of 8 and we all needed glasses and I just happened to have them in my car. So you have to know the place you're going to. I do say that I do tend to go to a lot of restaurants over here that have Riedel.
Right.
But yeah, I've been caught sometimes going, oh, all right, I'll order Syrah or Merlot sometimes because they can kind of maybe tolerate a little bit.
With any glass. Well, I'm an old restaurant person. I worked in the restaurant business forever. And, right. And I was waitress, hostess, manager. I did all of it in the front of house. And I remember working at this high-end steakhouse and we would have people bring in their own glasses all the time. To us, we're going fantastic, less glasses. We have to wash and polish, enjoy it, perfectly fine. I have actually carried my own wine glasses into restaurants before because it does make a difference and you do want a good wine glass and there's nothing worse than it coming out in this. And you want it to kind of be in this.
Well, yeah, and especially if you're buying, the Papapietro Perry wines, it's a great bottle of wine. You're taking it into a restaurant and it's going to be put into something that is not appropriate. That you're like, well, wait a second. Where's my investment? I put in my investment in this wine and I didn't get to that next step. I went like, And so that's a tough thing. I've been at a restaurant once in outside of Orange County somewhere and they had this amazing wine list and they had terrible glasses. It was just like,
I said, well, do you see Ben's comment? Because Ben can't stay away. I love it, Ben. He misses us. Bruce and I used to bring our own glasses to sell our wine because the tasters would use paper cups.
Yes.
To be fair, that was a long time ago when they were, on the street selling their wine. But I was also a distributor, shockingly enough. I cannot even imagine having walked into a retail establishment restaurant to sell wine and they're in paper cups. So good job, by the way, Ben. If you could sell the wine in paper cups, more power to you.
Yeah, I don't know how you could sell it in a paper cup because you get that paper thing going. But I've been in more than enough times way back in my early days with clear plastic cups, and that seems to be the thing. And of course, we do the seminar now, and we taste the wine out of those cups. And I think to myself, how in the world did I sell a thing with those? And we have sales teams around the country who now carry glasses with them, realizing what a difference it makes.
We do not use paper cups at the winery, just to be clear. I wanted to clarify that we use it for water, but and water could probably taste better in one of these, but we do use it for the water. I will say, I actually have one more question for you that has been bugging me this whole time. because wine in a good cup is a gamble, right? You got to make sure, you know where I'm going with this. You got to make sure you have the right wine, the right glass. It's a gamble. It all comes together. You can win or take all. Do you ever play poker? You ever won a poker championship?
Poker.
That was a gorgeous segue, by the way.
Poker face. The poker face. I thought you were going to talk about my Riedel app, so I was getting that.
No, I apologize. I wanted to bring up the fact you kicked your husband's butt in a poker championship when he teaches poker.
I last year competed in a poker tournament at Riedel House here in St. Helena as a benefit for they do a lot of work with people who need it, a little bit older demographic. And I got very lucky, got some good cards, and yes, for the first time in 5 years, I think the tournament's been going, a woman won.
Which one?
Look at me. There's a photo of me in the St. Helena Star. Yes, number one. I was pretty excited. So yeah.
That's awesome. No, that's awesome. That's absolutely fantastic. She came from the beginner table to the final. So I was just handed over as a note. Well done. What were you going to talk about on your phone that I totally missed?
I have the Riedel app. So if you want to know what glass to put your wine in, you can go to that and you scroll through it like that, or you can type it in. And if we're drinking Cab Franc, it's going to say, okay, this is the glass that you want to use. But it has all sorts of crazy varieties in here. You know, some of them, you know, like Blaufränkisch. It's a great variety, but chances are you're only going to find it in Austria. So you may
I haven't had that one in a while.
I know. I haven't been to Austria in a while.
To be fair, I will tell you too, if you do go to a restaurant, a lot of times restaurants will have fancy glassware for the high-end wines. And then if you order a wine by the glass, they just kind of give you whatever. You can ask for the better glass. Sometimes they don't know what they're talking about, so they'll just give it to you because they don't know. But you will hear more stories. So I'm going to kind of wrap it up. We're at our half hour, believe it or not. But we didn't get much into the wine because the wine just speaks for itself. You guys all know the wine. The glasses are fun. Join us on our seminar. We've got our Riedel tasting kits, which include 2 sets of 4 different glasses, a bottle of our Pinot and a bottle of our Chardonnay. We'll be doing that July 16th, 5 p.m. virtual live. So you actually don't have to come to the winery to do it. You can do it in your pajamas. It's awesome. I'm super excited. I did my first Riedel seminar at the winery a few years ago and blown away ever since. Huge believer in the glasses. I bore everybody who listens to me about it because I do feel it makes an absolute difference. I'm about to be handed another note. Yes, Dan. Order by July 6th. Yes, order the tasting kits by July 6th, or we cannot get the wine and the kits to you in time. The idea is you order the kits, we'll ship you the wine immediately, temperature controlled. You'll get your glasses in early July. We will all meet, Susan, myself, we'll all meet together virtually on Zoom. So I'm looking forward to that. Next week on our Wine Wednesday, Ben Papapietro has been invited to Charlie Palmer Restaurant for Pigs and Pinot, which is like the Oscars out here in our area for Pinot Noir. And he's going to be doing an Instagram live with that. So that's going to be on Thursday, the 18th. Wednesday, the 16th, we're going to sneak peek and drink the wine first because we can. We're going to do that. But Susan, thank you so much for joining us. Absolutely a pleasure. Oh, I did it right this time. Cheers. I can't wait to see you in July. Your glass is much smaller than mine. I can't wait to see you in July. We got another month to spend together, and I am looking forward to it. So cheers, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.